What is up, Bucs fans? We are live. It is a Buccaneers, Buccaneers Monday. As we're getting excited, and obviously the preseason has begun, as you see on the screen there. 27-17, Buccaneers lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but a lot of things to talk about. A lot of good things we saw. Also, talk about some negatives as well. But thank you everyone for joining us. Sorry we were a little late, but again, this is Real Bucks Talk. We are live here Mondays going forward. So every Monday around this time, 9:15. So very excited, and definitely looking forward to another game this weekend. It just keeps on piling up. But I'm your host, Michael Plus. Joined as always, my co-host Mark Ramirez. Mark, welcome in, and it's good to talk Buccaneers football and actually talk a game, even though it is preseason.
It doesn't matter. We get to see them in the field playing, roster spots being opened up, and things coming into fruition. Like who's going to take the lead quarterback position, who's taking the nickel position. You didn't really see many starters, to be honest, on either side of the ball. But from what you heard from Twitter, we're in mid-season form, losing this bad, 27-17. So
Yeah,
we're going to talk on. It is preseason. I said last week, I was like, I take nothing of the preseason record. Who cares if you win or lose? It's just, can you execute? Are we trying to tune things up? Everything's vanilla. That's all you ever hear. So I don't take that much weight into a preseason game. If we win it, great. If we lose it, who the hell cares? It matters when it matters. These don't really matter.
yeah, no, agreed. I think
Cheers.
yeah, cheers on screen. There we
There
go.
he is. There he is.
But yeah, I mean, you look at this game, and like you said, a lot of starters didn't play. We only had, I think, 2 starters on the offensive line that are projected to start. You didn't have your big time receivers out there. I think Russell Gage played like maybe 3 snaps, and that was it. Probably like the first drive. The rest of it was a lot of young players out there, and on both sides. Mainly on defense, it was it was very young. So I think what we saw is obviously a new direction under Dave Canales, and we saw a lot of good things with the play action. We saw, new running game, which obviously needs to, work out the kinks. I mean, you look here at the numbers, only 66 yards on 26 carries. Some of that was, some of it was the running back, some of it was just offensive line, missing a block or just good reads by Pittsburgh's defense. So I'm not going to overreact to that. I thought a lot of it was good. I did like the 3 straight runs to start the game, kind of showing your identity. So what do you think about that as far as the running game goes?
I mean, a lot of this is also tinkering to see what we're going to get. Again, not having all 5 of your starters in there is a massive deal. The pay difference and the ability difference from Tristan Wirfs and the next guy is astronomical. So don't think this is what your offensive line is going to look like.
Right.
Please don't think that. And then to people picking out singular plays, saying, "Oh, he's a washed up. He just got beat."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyone can get beat on one play. I mean, Tristan Wirfs looked like a fool at times too in his rookie season, or just in general in time. So,
right,
you're going to get beat. I mean, it's just part of the game, right? No one wins 100, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. But it's more consistency, and they're learning on the go as well. You're trying to learn 5 guys as an offensive line to be cohesive and together as one. They had 2 out of 5 there. So I'm not going to take, again, it's not that big of a deal to me. It's preseason, and then you got the flags to deal with as well. Some of the starters probably wouldn't do that, but that I see is the biggest issue that everyone's concerned about. I'm a little bit concerned about it, but again, starters will fix that. I just think a lot of that is just players that haven't been playing together, and yes, probably Baker or Kyle Trask, whoever wins it, will probably help in that situation too, getting things lined up quicker and getting the ball out with everyone on the same page.
Yeah, agreed. And with the running game, I think, again, like you said, not many starters in there. Obviously Rashad White is probably he's our best running back. So when you get those guys in there, it definitely has a chance to look a lot better. And I think, you know, some of the runs I thought could have had more yards, but like you said, the penalties, and that's something they have to clean up. And I think that will happen with, more experience in the offense and understanding where they have to be, and that should get toned down. At least we hope. We don't see a lot of penalties this year. That's something they have to focus on because they have to play clean football, and that's the big emphasis. And I think for the most part, we did a pretty good job of that. I believe there was only the one turnover, and that was the Kyle Trask interception, which we'll get into as well. But I liked what we saw from the offense. I did like a lot of the play action, and there was opportunities for more, obviously more points. But again, penalties kind of held them back. So some missed opportunities as well. But what's your thoughts on? I guess we can get into just Baker Mayfield and your thoughts of him and how he played.
Yeah, I mean, jumping into like
Yeah.
the elephant in the room,
Mhm.
who outplayed who? Clearly, Baker 8 out of 9, 63 yards, 1 touchdown, no
Yeah.
interceptions,
Right.
which everyone thought he would have been throwing interceptions left and right based off of what he's been doing in training camp. And then Kyle
Mhm.
Trask goes out there 6 of 10, 99 yards, 1 interception, 3 sacks. Hold on to the ball a little bit too long there, Kyle. And that was something I did see him do a lot more, like holding on a little bit too long. And we've
Mhm.
heard Canales having Tom Moore holding the damn stopwatch. You gotta
Right.
get that damn ball out in 3 seconds. He was holding it a lot longer than 3 seconds, and
Mhm.
not getting out of the pocket or rolling out, making a quick decision. Those are things in game you got to be able to do. Uh,
Mhm.
Baker, it was just efficient. Yes, we've seen some things on Twitter where he would miss like a dig route underneath with a fly, cleared it all out. Yeah,
Mhm.
did miss it, but again, no one's perfect, even though it was wide the hell open.
Yeah.
I haven't seen fully like the end zone view. Oh, here it
Yeah.
is. Actually,
Yeah, I
plus
have it I have it
go.
right here, so
It is exactly. So this is plus breaking it down.
Mhm.
As you see, I think that's Geiger on the bottom of your screen. He's gonna clear it all out. No, or is that Palmer?
Well, of course, my Wi-Fi is not working properly, so
Damn it, plus. But the guy on the bottom of the screen is gonna clear it out with a go, and then I
yeah,
believe
let me
that's
see if I can.
Moore, DJ Moore on the top. There we go. So yeah, he's
Yeah,
clearing it out. DJ Moore's gonna come in underneath,
as
crossing, and
it's
he
buff
just flies.
as this yeah, as it's buffering, but it kinda worked out. You can kinda see the play. I mean, there's a lot of space here. He ends up, checking it down. But again, it's the play design. So obviously you get the right coverage. Um, and credit to Josh Capo from Pure Report for that clip. But it was promising, a lot of good things, and we saw shots down the field. So some big chunk plays and getting into the receivers. Obviously, there's big plays everywhere. 38, 23, 22. Utilizing the tight ends. That's something we talked about as well. So yeah, a lot of good plays. Even though Devin Tompkins only had 2 catches, I like how they utilize him as well. So
You can see his
yeah, very,
electric
very
ability, though. The
yeah,
70.
yeah, for sure. Like making guys miss, staying on his feet, good balance. Yeah, there's a lot of good things from the offense when Baker was in there, and you can kind of see just the comfort level that Baker had running the offense. He definitely seemed like a very good match, and that's something we've talked about a lot this offseason, of the scheme fitting the personnel in the right way.
Yeah, and a lot of the flags early on did mess with their drives. I mean, there was one where he scrambled for a first down. They
Mhm.
called a hold, and even Rondé's like, "I don't see a hold," on
Yeah.
the announcers. But I mean, some of that's just going to be ticky tack calls, but then some of them are really mess up calls. But
Mhm.
you can see he was being the one that was being more cautious. How Kyle Trask has been in training camp, and he was the one. No, I'm just going to make the play that I see. If not, I'm going to run the ball or just scramble out, right? So
Mhm.
that's the stuff we want to kind of see, like quick decisions to stay within the offense. Don't try and be hero ball. You're just getting it to the receivers. You're just getting it to the
Right.
outlet, right? So
Yeah.
just consistently doing that, and that's something Baker actually talked about in what was it, his interview with Sal Palantonio.
Mhm.
Being consistent. Don't go beyond the script. Just do what you're supposed to do, and let's see consistent play just like that. And that's all we want to see. We don't need a hero. We just need a guy that's going to run the play how it's supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Kyle did that as well. I thought he did some good things too. Like you said, holding on to the football maybe a little bit too long, but he also showed, good quick release, good power on the football as far as like accuracy
Oh
and just driving the ball to his receivers, which was good. Had some bad luck as well. I mean, O'Keefe dropped a third down that should have been caught. And then also just some quick pressures as well. I mean, certain guys got beat pretty quickly on some of the sacks, and it was just tough. I mean, I did like the play concept where I think it was Payne Durham who ran like a little like corner route from the end line, and he was wide open. And I think Kyle tried to get him the ball, but just threw it over the top because he was being pressured. So he missed it. But not bad. Definitely I would say, and I think you agree, Baker's kind of separated himself a little bit with this performance. And, like a lot of us, we all feel Baker's going to be the starter week 1. And so far it was a good performance from him. And we'll see what, Kyle has up his sleeve this week against the Jets as the starter for this game and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately only one game,
Right.
but realistically, Baker's been in this offense before. Kyle Trask hasn't, and
Yeah.
he's been years learning a whole other offense that was difficult for him to learn. Now
Right.
he's somehow getting used to this one better, but just not. He doesn't have the field awareness Baker has. Is something we've talked about over and over. He doesn't
Mhm.
just have the command of everything how Baker does. So if
Yeah.
you want to win now and you're trying to just jump and go, not just wait for it to happen, Baker's a route. And I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, I think Ira Kaufman came out saying that he has an in with someone saying, "Oh, it's Baker's
Yeah.
job. He's starting
Yeah.
against Minnesota," and everyone's like, it's not
Yeah.
yet." I mean,
Mhm.
I agree with him. I think everyone should agree with him. Kyle's just making it a more entertaining competition.
Mhm.
Either way, I think it is Baker's job. Not just based on this one game, just based off of body of work and experience. It just
Yeah.
has to be.
Right. Right. Agreed. I mean, you're going into week 1 and in Minnesota, that's a very tough place to play. Very loud stadium. So you rather have someone that, has been around the block and has experience there to, calm things down, especially for an offense that is new. So you want to make sure everyone's on the same page. But wanted to talk real quickly about Trey Palmer. You see the numbers there: four receptions, 33 yards on 4 targets. He had the touchdown catch, which was really nice. So I mean, he's the guy that's been stepping up at camp, stepping up in the game here, and really showing that he was probably overlooked in the draft. And Bucs get another guy that could come in here and contribute right away. So, what's your thoughts on him, and what do you think his role will be for the offense?
Man, I thought it was cool that he said that the moment wasn't too big for him. Like
Mhm.
he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this. This is my time. The ball's falling right into my hands. I didn't even see the guy in front of me.
Mhm.
It was coming towards me. It was mine." I think that's huge, and he's not a guy that's lacking confidence, which is pretty much like 90% of it's mental. Just everyone here can do it. It's can you execute it consistently? He's not just a
Mhm.
speed guy, clearly, because he had 4 targets. His longest was 9 yards.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good thing. He can do a lot more than just run a go route.
Right.
And this is something good. And it was a hell of a play by Baker, too, to kind of loft that back corner of the end zone.
Mhm.
And he just goes up and gets it right above that DB's hand. So overall, can you get better? 4 targets, 4 catches, and a touchdown. That's pretty dang good. I guess
Yeah.
if each one of them was a 50-yard bomb, I guess. But either way, like good performance. Let's keep stacking them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I was really impressed with, his performance. And then, the other guys also did well. I mean, David Moore just looked like a veteran out there. He was kind of toying with, the second teamers that he was going up against. Kalen Geiger, showed good things, good quickness and bursts. So yeah, a lot of good competition at receiver, and we haven't even seen Raheem Jarrett, who is supposed to be that lock for the 6th spot. So we'll see what he can do, this weekend. But yeah, overall, a lot of good things that I saw for the offense. And yes, the O-line will be, I think, fine. I think everyone just wants to panic because, certain individuals didn't do as well as they hoped, but those guys are still young players, talking about, Cody Mock and Luke Gedeke, who, when you look at it, it's really just some technique things that they have to fix, get a little bit lower on pad level, play a little bit more in control, not try to be too aggressive, and, understand their hand placement. So all those things are fixable. And I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not all 5. It's just 2 guys in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I know there's the worry about Jensen. Is he even going to play this season? That is a worry, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, your center Hainsey, who will likely be your center, played
Right.
all last year. So experience again is in his hands.
Mhm.
But before we keep going on, let's see what Canales had to say with Baker and Kyle Trask. I just want to add that to how we think and how Canales is saying is the differential thing between both of them. So let's just hear. This is Canales. What is the name of this podcast? It's pretty awesome whenever we listen to it.
Oh, the Salty Dogs podcast. That's by Scott Smith.
Yeah. So let's take a listen.
Oh, fantastic. Can you give us an idea how each of those 2 guys are doing? What they're doing well?
Yeah, absolutely. So what Baker does well is his experience allows him to see things and to anticipate. And what I'm seeing from Kyle in that regard is I'm seeing a guy who's working tirelessly, studying, asking questions. Kyle wants it to be crystal clear. Okay, let's go over this one more time. And so as he catches up with the concepts, you see his talent really starting to emerge. You got 2 fantastic guys with really strong arms, great quick decision-making ability, and pretty good athletes, both of them. Obviously.
So reading between the lines, clearly it's Baker's here, and Trask is trying to catch up to him. That's how it is. It's how it's always been. And what of it? Like it's just, and yeah, it doesn't matter draft position. No, it doesn't. It just matters who's most ready to win week 1. And yes, I know it's trust the system, but I want a guy that's already been in the system, knows what's going on, and can relay that message to everyone else confidently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think, and, that's what I think when Baker was signed. Obviously, he was signed for that reason because, the team felt, again, this guy's young enough, still in his prime, 27 years old, and coming into a situation where the offense is obviously going to suit his game. I mean, we saw it on that, I think it was the second drive where he had the play action boot and you see him run by the defender and still make an accurate pass to Trey Palmer for the first down. And then you saw, the quick decision making on a couple other drives, especially in the touchdown drive where he was able to throw some strikes, get first downs, move the ball downfield. Yes, the play we showed earlier from Josh Capo, you would like to see him pull that trigger on the dig route. And that's something I think will come, with more time, more comfortability in the system. And also having your starters out there more, obviously if he has Mike Evans doing that dig route, he's going to see him right away and, obviously pull that trigger. So I think that will be a good thing. And you could just see like he was just, calm, cool, and collected, very much in rhythm and not trying to do too much. And I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah. And knew when to loft it in the back of the corner.
Right.
It was better than a 50-50 ball. It was my guys at that point. Like if I loft this up to him, it's him or no one. That's a judge decision that's more in my favor. So kudos to Baker. But here's one more thing on Kyle Trask talking about the difference between last year's offense and this year's offense. Again, slap to Leftwich's face. They mentioned BA, but I'm just going to credit slap to Leftwich's face. Let's hear Kyle Trask talking about the difference between the 2 offenses.
I think it all starts with just knowing what you're doing. I just feel a lot more comfortable in this offense. I really struggled trying to grasp the last offense, as much as I tried to. BA's offense isn't known as being one of the easiest offenses to learn, but I was gaining it, week by week. But Dave coming in here, there's a lot of good film to watch, going back and looking at Seattle, things like that. So I was able to pick it up a lot quicker, and I just feel like I could be more myself, and just play confidently, play better, and now I just got to play a little cleaner and keep it moving forward.
I mean, he's not wrong. Oh, you muted yourself.
Yep. Yep. No, that was that was all, all the right things he said there. And, understanding the offense, I think, was the big concept. Realizing, this is just a better offense suited for his skill set, but also allows him to play quicker. And it's just it's a friendlier system for the quarterback. You have options to go to and get rid of the ball much quicker than you would have in a Byron Leftwich offense, where it's more drop back heavy and try to throw the ball downfield. And even looking at the interception that Trask had, I think that was more in frustration from the previous play, and then he was trying to obviously keep the drive going and try to force one in there on a 3rd and 19, and it just got picked off. So but overall, I thought he played, you could see the confidence. I mean, obviously more command of the huddle and just better grasp of what he was doing out there.
I'll say this. He did want to push the ball a lot more than Baker did.
Right.
That's something where you thought that would be, the roles would be reversed, right? You thought
Yeah,
Baker would be the
opposite.
one, right? So clearly, yes, he wants to make an impression. Clearly, he's trying to win a job. They're both trying to win a job. And maybe he heard the little hoopla that it's Baker's job and he tried to go out and do something. But again, all of this is going to be dictated on kind of Alice leading an offense and gradually letting the players take over it. A lot of it's not necessarily going to be, oh, he didn't win his one-on-one. No, it's the offensive scheme working to get them more wide open. That's, again, something we'll talk on later. But, I mean, at this point, everyone knows I think we like Baker more, and that he is more deserving of the job, I would say. But I mean, that's just based off of experience and timing system. Right. It is better fit to me. I mean, I know Kyle Trask, and then that's me saying this. Kyle Trask has totally developed into a different quarterback. There's way more zip on his ball. There's a lot more commanding. He stands taller. He has some mobility. He's not just a statue. Total different looking dude. Does that mean he's going to be the starting quarterback? I don't think so, but I just think he's gotten better every damn year, and you can see it. And he does look more confident, more comfortable. I just think, again, he ran into a guy that in this system, I think just Baker can run it better.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, me and you have talked off air, and I'm the one I'm comfortable with either guy. And I talk a lot about, the scheme, just let the scheme do its job, and it's going to produce friendly results for your quarterback. I mean, you look everywhere this scheme has been, the quarterback has had success. And I think that's something that you have to look at. And we're going to get to Wolford here soon. We'll talk about him a little bit. I know we're just leaving him out, but
he is in the competition. That's what Canales says.
Yeah. But yeah, Wolford, I mean, he's the best third string quarterback in the league. That was bar none. He did a good job, especially the 95-yard touchdown drive, finishing off to Payne Durham. That was very impressive. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good things, a lot of good tendencies to be proud of what we saw. And yeah, I think it should be interesting going up against this Jets defense, obviously, that has a lot of good pass rushers, and it's going to be fun to see if they can, match up and do what they need to do to get more points early on.
Yeah, I mean, so I like this question over here by Ken Bear. I know this is looking forward to the future. We haven't even talked about the defense just yet, but he's curious about the only one practice with the Jets this week, hoping for a series or two with some of the starters. Yeah, there you go. I'm more interested in how we match up in these practices, just that one practice that we have during the week. I'm interested to see who goes out there as the number one then? Is it going to be Trask or is it Baker? Do we measure up well? I mean, even Todd Bowles was mentioning that. So do we match up against a team that everyone's kind of saying is Super Bowl bound? Now they have Dalvin Cook. Holy hell, just stack it up even more. So
Yeah.
That's what I'm most anxious for.
Yeah, definitely. I think that will be very interesting to see how that plays out, and who are the number ones on offense, who's playing on defense as well, and how do they match up? How can Chris Izien match up in the slot, and all those things come together. And so looking at that, looking at the Bucs offense and that offensive line going up against a very good, talented defensive line in the Jets. I mean, they have two deep in that rotation. So that'll be a very good test for the Bucs this week in the game. And does that mean we see more starters in this game, since there's only going to be the one practice? So, I think you probably will see more of the starters, maybe more of the offensive line out there for at least a couple series to just see what they can do, see what they can gel, and especially playing a strong front seven. I think it would be a good idea, especially for Kyle and Baker, if they can get both opportunities with them to see what they have.
Yeah. I mean that's offensively. And then let's see, like you were mentioning, Izien, he's earlier the lead for that nickel position. But let's talk about the defense. I know they allowed 27 points, but their first drive was a lot of their starters were in. We didn't have much of any. We had JTS was not there. We had what's his name? Logan. Yeah, Logan Hall, and we had Anthony Nelson, but he's not really a starter. So, I mean, what did you see? Let me ask you this: what did you see from Logan Hall?
It was a lot of the same. I thought he did some good things as far as being better and setting up against the run, as far as holding his blocks a little bit better, maintaining. But then as far as pass rush, it was still kind of the same thing, where he did some really good initial moves, but then he got too high with his pad level, and you could see him getting redirected too easily instead of finding a way to get more of a direct path up the field to create some disruption. But I mean, we said it last year. We thought the guy wasn't a good pick, and right now it looks much of the same. I'm hoping we can see more once the regular season turns on, but I mean, right now you got to expect more from him, especially if he's going to be a starter next to Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey.
Because you heard Mike Green's name a lot more. You heard Yaya Diaby flashing. I didn't hear his name once, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did he record a tackle?
That is a good question. I don't know. Don't think he showed. Well, he's not showing up here on ESPN. So
they'll probably say, "Oh, he didn't play that many snaps." I mean, I understand he's penciled in to be a starter. I mean, but if for a team that's saying they want to focus back in on stopping the run, yes, he got bigger, but that's not his game. I'm hoping he proves me wrong, and these limited snaps didn't really show much, but a couple good reps, playing with more physicality, in the pass rush. And Will Golston looked, well, again, he's been here, done that.
Yeah, he was playing against backups, so obviously
he performed like how a starter does.
Right.
These type of guys. Logan Hall didn't really do much, and this is a second-year guy is supposed to splash. It's not like he's a lower pick. I know everyone judges based off of your draft position, so he has all the ability in the world. He's just not using it correctly. I don't know if it's just he's just too high. Usually it is, but you think you would have learned that in 1 year. But
I agree. And speaking of splash, I mean, let's just get right to it. On defense, it was Yaya Diaby. I mean, Yaya looked really good. I mean, he was. Oh. Well, I mean, Cam Gill did look good. I mean, obviously he is not going down without a fight. He wants to have that, the fifth spot as far as the edge rushers or the outside linebackers. And it was quite telling that they didn't play Jose Ramirez, your brother there. He didn't play I think he only had 3 snaps. So, I mean, but Yaya looked really good. I mean, power, speed, holding up in the run game, doing a good job of creating pressures. I think he had at least 3 pressures out of, I think it was like 12 pass rush snaps, which is really good. And then you look at, he was also held a couple times that they didn't call. So yeah, I thought he had a great debut. Trying to think of others. I thought Izzian had a pretty solid game, going back to the nickel. But really all those outside linebackers look good. Anthony Nelson still looked strong. Marquise Watts looked really good. He looked good and late. And then obviously Cam Gill, with the 1.5 sacks, he was ready to play.
Yeah, right. I mean,
so
but
they all look pretty good.
Like Cam Gill before he got hurt last year was looking damn good in preseason again too. So
yeah.
That's why Todd Bowles is saying that outside linebacker position is probably one of the most competitive to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Yaya's speed to power is going to be something to mess with. And I'm excited for him to start learning more pass rush moves, like learning from JTS, Shaq, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the faster he learns different counters and way to leverage his body, the better he's going to be, because he has all the tools. He's got the long arms, extremely strong. He's got the quick twitch, which he was never used for in college. And you just saw it. I mean, yeah, it's against backups, but still, I saw a lot more from him than I saw from Logan Hall.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Different position, but still.
Yeah, and Yaya is going to be okay, guys. No injury. He's fine. A lot of those guys that got held out from practice the last couple of days, they're going to be okay. Just soreness. So all those guys will be good to go for this week coming up. Ken Barrett talking about Yaya. He did look good. Yeah, he did. That's the one I talked about on the tweet. Got right there, just missed. A great move by the quarterback to evade and step up. So, but yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Now, getting back Kalijah Cansey, hopefully for the regular season, and Yaya Diaby, and having, JTS, that's going to be a lot of fun. Those guys rotating in and out. It should be good for the pass rush. And like Mark said, hopefully he can continue to develop a plan. But even without it, he's going to be great for, the stunts and the games that they're going to be able to run. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, especially with Vita Vea in there. Like, we didn't even have him in there. You put that guy in, he draws so much attention. You're going to be able to do a lot of different things.
Yeah, and yes, Jose Ramirez is the other one that didn't really play much.
I think they're trying to hide him.
Yeah, right. I didn't remember you saying
that. See if they can get him on the practice squad.
I at one point I do want to see what he has.
Right.
Everyone against NFL competition, right? Yeah, other teams too. But I mean, overall, Yaya showed that he knows how to use his tools, and we can work with that big time. And like you just said, the biggest component of that is having a rotation of pass rushers. We haven't really had that in years past. We had one pass rusher and a bunch of big guys around him. It was just Shaq, pretty much. And now you have a rotation of Shaq, JTS, Yaya, Anthony Nelson. I mean, you got something to work with here. And let's see who wins that last outside linebacker position. If it is Cam Gill, he's already up 3-0 against a lot of other people. So, I mean, early on it's his position, but he wins that special teams too. Yeah, Jose hasn't really played much special teams in his past. So, Cam Gill again gets the nod on that one. Squeeze the practice squad plus. Squeeze him.
Yeah, so there was a lot of, some good things is, from the front, front seven, just pass rush, and, some good things in the run game. Linebacker play, I thought, it was a little struggle for Servassier Dennis. He showed some things, but other times it was a little bit of welcome to the NFL, and he was trying to get adjusted. Also playing on special teams too, so it was a lot for him in that first game. I thought KJ Britt did some good things. He looked a little bit faster. He looked a little quicker, especially to sideline. So I thought he did well. And there were some good things from the other linebackers, Ulysses Gilbert, and then I think it was also JJ Russell who had a nice interception. So not bad, overall solid for them. And then in the secondary, a lot of it just came down to missed tackles. A lot of missed tackles. And I thought, we talked about Chris Izzian earlier. I thought he did some good things out there as far as the starting nickel. But what's your thoughts? I didn't even let you speak on the linebackers, but your thoughts of the linebackers or the secondary as a whole.
Yeah, you
from
could
this game.
see Servassier would get lost in the trenches pretty much. If it was a run, he'd kind of get jumbled up with the defensive lineman, offensive lineman, kind of running into each other. Saw him on the ground a couple times where KJ Britt's just flying towards the ball. Yeah, that's him just knowing the flow of where the offense is going and getting away from that trash. Something where with experience, Servassier with his more athleticism will probably get better at it.
Right.
Yeah, just don't get on the ground. If you're on the ground, someone's going to run right past you. So don't do that again. So that's learning moments. It's not like he's a first or second round pick. So we're not going to expect him to play a big role. But, I mean, you saw his athleticism at some points, kind of running people down, but learning moment. Let's just put it that way. Covina Man said he thought Dennis looked small. He looks thin. He doesn't look small. He just looks more of like a safety, like a bigger safety.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's part of his game. Like he's a more athletic running back, linebacker. So I'm not necessarily mad about that. He could put on a few more pounds, but I thought, KJ Britt popped. He had a couple tip passes as well. So there were good things on that. Still, like who wins that linebacker position? I think they're leaning toward Servassier, even though KJ Britt has the experience and a hell of a special teams player. And then secondary, I just locked in on Izzian pretty much. I know John McCollum had the pick,
interception,
but he did get kind of picked on at some points. So I was kind of confused on that one. Yeah. Considering how much praise he's been getting in practice and training camp. So I don't know, like Servassier, learning moment. Zion McCollum, it was weird. It was hot and cold like that. I thought I'd see more consistent play out of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tackling issue for him, just, understanding angles and when to break down and make the play instead of coming in full speed trying to, take the legs or whatever you have to do. But
sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. So yeah, it's definitely he's something that it has to be picked up and get better at. A couple of the other guys, Nolan Turner, obviously on the touchdown for George Pickens. Pickens just made a great move and broke, Turner's ankles.
He beat
McCollum. Yeah. And then, made a nice move for the touchdown. And then I'm trying to think of anyone. I did like Kendrick Whitehead. I thought he showed some good things. He made some tackles in there. Kayvon Merriweather was in there making some plays. Josh Hayes. Overall not bad. Keenan Isaac, he was getting the start with the first defense out there. Didn't see nothing spectacular, but didn't see anything like terrible.
Yeah.
And then obviously I want to say it was Duron Lowe who got beat for the long score, and he ends up getting cut the next day. So yeah, I mean, but overall not bad from the defense. And again, it was a lot of guys that are going to be in either a backup position or they're going to be on the practice squad. That for the guys that were out there. But and then special teams, I mean, we'll just talk about real quickly. Jake Camarda looked like he was a Pro Bowler already, with his bombs out there, looking just great as usual. So really excited about his season coming up. I think he'll be very consistent for us. And then the kickers, I mean, they made their kicks, so nothing to complain about that. Special teams returning, I mean, Trey Palmer did have a longer 32, so that's pretty cool. He had a good return. Punt return didn't really have much.
I mean, there's not much to talk about on those.
Yeah.
Bush. That's what I'll say.
Right. But I guess with that, I mean, we can, I don't know. Did you have anything else you want to talk about from this game, or kind of just get into what's coming up?
I do want to look more into Izzian and how he did play. I know he did get beat on some plays,
Mhm.
It's like I want to know, was he in position correctly? Was it consistently out of place? That's one thing I'm going to focus more in on. Hopefully,
Right.
we can get the Game Pass working a little bit more efficiently. As
Yeah,
we've figured it out now today.
don't get me started on that.
But yeah, so that's one area I'll be highlighting, and then just how Gedeke and Cody Mock played. Like,
Mhm.
because I mean, yeah, it's going to be the big highlights of people who are going to play on Sunday. I'm not going to look
Right.
heavily on a guy that is struggling to make the team. I
Yeah.
want to see guys who we're going to be counting on for the season. And if Izian's literally your lead guy at nickel, usually teams are going to attack a guy that is an undrafted free agent. So
Yeah.
if he's going to be picked on consistently, is he going to be able to step up and make plays, or are we in for a rough
Yeah. Yeah.
go around in 2023 season?
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that's a great points, and yeah, definitely look at his game, and Josh Hayes as well, and see which one is. Right now it looks like Izian has the edge. But one more thing from this game we didn't touch on is the running backs, and that's the backup running backs. I thought Chase Edmonds looked really good, showed a lot of flash. Did get beat on a pass protection, just got blown up. But again, that's going to happen for him. Smaller in size, and you hope come regular season he can be a little bit sharper there. I thought Sean Tucker looked good, flashed, had a touchdown, should have been a touchdown. So you feel bad for him there, but he did a lot of good things, showed good explosion, good contact balance. So really excited about those two. I thought they just looked a lot better than Keyshawn Vaughn. Keyshawn was kind of disappointing just because he missed opportunities out there where he could have got more yards and also more first downs for the Bucs offense to, continue and move on, but it didn't happen for him.
And yeah, I mean, that is another massive competition spot. Like,
Yeah, right.
Sneak he's been getting good reviews from Canales. I mean, every time you hear him talk, he's mentioning Sneak.
Yeah.
The important players, the running backs. I mean, yeah. I didn't fully see what Plus saw. I'll get back into the game tape now that we have it. But about Sneak, you hear all the good things. Is one game going to be the end all be all? No. Same thing with the quarterback position.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chase Edmonds though did pop. Like you can see his
you can just see the flash. Yeah.
Quick twitch, get the ball and go. Like there was no hesitation. And he would know, he felt where the hole was going to be a lot faster than Keyshawn Vaughn. So
yeah.
And Tucker, you're going to see a lot more, I think, in the second and third games from him. I want to see him throw him a ball too.
Right? Yeah, I think he only had one. I think he had one catch. Didn't go anywhere. One catch for 2 yards. Yeah. Or no, 3 yards, excuse me. So yeah.
Lazy.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess we'll open up. I'm going to open it up to this again. We're talking, everyone's worried about the quarterback position. Let's hear what Todd Bowles is saying, and then I'll move over to what Canales' answer is for that. So Todd Bowles talking about the offense, because for us, I think we've said this all offseason. Our defense is going to be good enough. I mean, you didn't see any of our starters. Don't worry about that. This preseason game. Hooligan. Is our offense going to be able to do anything so where our defense is just not struggling nonstop because they're always getting back on the field? So let's hear what Todd Bowles had to say about our quarterback position and what do they have to do?
How can they kind of build on those performances?
Just continue to run the offense, not try to go outside the framework of what we're trying to do, and they haven't, and get better and understand what they have to take down the field and what they don't. So that's been good so far.
Thank you.
Simple, right? We're talking about being consistent. Don't be hero ball, right? That was a question.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I saw the question by Tall Florida guy. But yeah, definitely. I think that's what it's about. You have to be consistent. You have to protect the football. And really just let the scheme do its job. Let the scheme work for you. Trust it. And, results will follow. And I think that's what both guys are saying.
And then, well, like you're mentioning, the scheme. So here's Canales talking about the differences between why a scheme will help the players that we have on the field. So let's hear that.
You're doing a good job, and you guys are doing a good job of scheming guys open.
I would hope so. I would hope we're trying to, if it comes down to a mano-a-mano matchup consistently in football, as coaches, you're not trying hard enough. You know, if you're just relying on the talent and the skill level of your players, obviously that's what takes us as far as we can go. But from a basic level, that's too hard. You know, that's really straining on the players, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. So whatever we can do to help them get free access in their releases, whatever we can do to help them in the run game to execute their blocks, we try to do that to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Coaches are coaching.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's pretty much why, you know, Byron Leftwich doesn't have a job anymore, or doesn't have a job at all right now for the NFL, because that was happening way too much last year. And I think, you know, the coaches that are here now, they're looking at last year's tape and they're seeing everything he just said. He's like, they were just trying to go one-on-one every time, and it just can't do it that way. Defenses are too good. They're too smart. And you have to find ways to scheme people open. And we saw some of that from the preseason game last week. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. And, you know, letting your offense do the job and letting your scheme work and making it easier on the quarterback to execute. And to Tall Florida guy's question, we did talk about the offensive line. We don't think it's gonna be bad. Again, you only had 2 starters in there. So you're missing, you know, three other starters. And when you put those guys out there, it's a big difference. We talked about the level of play. Having Tristan Wirfs, that's a huge loss on anything. So I think it's going to be fine. I think the offensive line will be much better than what we saw against Pittsburgh. And really against Pittsburgh, it wasn't that bad. I mean, yes, there's a couple of reps that were bad, and that happens, but I think they're going to be okay.
What cracks me up too is they're looking at reps that they did bad, and the ball didn't even go to that side. There's a one play to the left, and we're looking at the guys on the right that did bad. I'm like, well, they didn't even make an effect on the play. So like, what are we worried about? Like, I mean, really, they just need to be in the way. They don't even really need to execute a block and maintain. But still, like, to your point, yes, Tristan Wirfs, Filer, Jensen. Let's see if he makes it back. Right. If they're there, it's a big difference, right? So, and then the scheme will help them out. He just said it, like, in blocking in the running game, as long as we're setting them up properly, moving the line one way, pulling a tight end the other way to help the backside. And we saw that. We saw little plays like that in this game too. So I think people take too much weight into the preseason, and just it's more we're just seeing what we have as in players, because we didn't really use any of our starters. Okay, guys, we had 2 offensive linemen in there, and it's Baker and Kyle who's going to win it. And we're just running vanilla offenses, and well, Baker has the early lead. That's about it. That's all we learned. So I think just more consistent play. Let's see what happens in the Jets practices. Who is a leg up on that? Because we're not just facing our own team left and right, getting used to each other's tendencies. Now we have to get against another team. And let's see if we're scheming up people to be open, and how our defense fares against an Aaron Rodgers-led Jets team. So, don't throw in the towel just yet, guys.
Yeah, it's just one game. Let's see how they progress to this next week, and obviously facing a bigger and tougher challenge in the Jets as far as their front. But, you know, Steelers also have some very good players on their defense as well, and it showed. But let's see what happens this week against you know, competition and a joint practice. And obviously you get to really run your stuff, run your offense, run your defense. And it's not vanilla. It's really, you're going out there, you're scheming and doing different things to see what these guys can do, and see if they can help you out during the season. So I think that will be, you know, fun to see how we match up, how the test, you know, falls. And, you know, we'll see what happens in the game. And we probably could see more starters play this Saturday, so that will be always good, and it should be interesting.
G Vegas has a point. Has a point right there.
Yeah, lost to Steelers backups.
We lost to the Steelers backups last year, so we knew that their roster was going to be what's up last Friday. Again, that's one other point I wanted to make, and we've been kind of silently making that point. The difference in scheme of coaching is going to be drastically different And if you have a coach that's going to help your players be in position to win, I know you
Mm.
always heard it from the one side, but you didn't really see it come to fruition. And there was never any changes, never any deception. It was the same crap
Right.
every
Yeah,
single.
G Vegas brought up a good point here with, analytics, to help the offense. I think that's going to be huge. Using Pro Football Focus and using that data, that they collect and understanding, okay, it's not a good idea to run it here on 3rd and 1. You should try play action or some type of pass play instead. So looking at those variables, I think that will definitely help the offense going forward. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Mark. I think you're making excellent points as far as it's just going to be so new that it's going to be looking a lot better. And I think the effectiveness and efficiency that we're going to see is going to help these guys tremendously.
Yeah, and that's something we've been talking about all offseason, but no one really gets it. They just see the same players without Tom Brady. And the scheme, the difference between the two is going to be astronomical, and where defenses are going to have to learn on the go on what the hell we're going to bring at them. Yes, they can study Seattle's concepts and stuff,
Right.
but you're throwing Mike Evans, Chris Godwin in there. Those are two legit number one receivers where they can do some damage. And if we can get any amount of a running game, they're going to be even more wide open. And you haven't really seen much of the tight ends, and their offense has been known for attacking with tight ends, especially in the red zone. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the possibilities of the offense and the weapons in it. We just need to know who the hell is our quarterback moving forward. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, we know we we have a good defense. The defense is there. It's healthier. It's faster. Obviously you got to iron out who's going to be the nickel back. For the year coming up. But I think we're excited to, see those guys, especially the secondary with Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal's going to be a huge addition. And then you look at Antoine Winfield back at free safety. So I think that's exciting. So yeah, a lot of good things coming up, and I think the picture is going to get a lot clearer as we move forward. Obviously, with roster moves and positions being decided on. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this offense can do and see how it's going to be run going forward.
Yeah, and don't stop putting so much weight in the preseason.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know why so many people want to win preseason. I mean, why would you want to win preseason and then just lose out in the regular season? Is that what we're looking for?
I think it's good. It's good to win. I mean, obviously, you want to win games. You want to build that confidence. It's just like that hidden momentum you want to have, going into the regular season. But again, it's not. It's not. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. So when you look at it from that standpoint, you're just trying to get quality reps out there, and you're trying to stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. Try to avoid injury and work on things that you're going to be doing in the regular season.
Yeah, but when I look at it, I see 4 quarters, and you have 1 quarter where your good players play, and 3 quarters where you don't. I mean, look what the Falcons game last year was. We're dominating mainly the whole first half when their starters were in, and then we take them out, and the Falcons come out and win. Everyone's like, "Oh wow, this team's looking pretty good." Ritter's future. I mean, he was going against a 3rd string. I mean, clearly he's going to do better. Like that's what he should be doing. So
right.
It's just some things are just scratch my head kind of type of thing. So,
yeah, I mean, like Donnie says here, I mean, it's practice. It's a glorified practice, and that's what you're really looking at, where it's live tackling and they keep score. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. This preseason game against the Jets, I think it's going to be cool to watch. So, and he's talking about the Jets' second preseason game. They were able to fix a lot of problems from the Hall of Fame game. So hopefully the Bucs can do the same thing. As I almost knock over my beer. So yeah, hopefully we see an improvement. And the penalties, I think that's the biggest area we want to see get cleaned up. If that happens, then I think we call it a success and stay healthy. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and that's one area where it can be an easy area to emphasize on, right? Winning the game, okay, well, maybe, but then again, you have no consistency of any of the players. The starting 5 linemen change almost every other quarter. Your quarterback's going in and out. There's no consistency with the wide receivers. So I don't know what in the hell we're trying to win a preseason game for. Like, it just see this as Leftwich ball. We're trying to see one-on-one matchups. That's all we're trying to look for. And scheme work in those one-on-one matchups. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. And Bud makes a great point. The Jets did shut out Carolina. So, I mean, Carolina is supposed to be improved. Like, does that mean they're not going to be
rookie
improved?
quarterback, rookie wide receiver.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, so really, the takeaways from this game we talked about earlier is, we got some good things on offense that we showed. Obviously Baker looks like he's the lead guy so far, and just got to clean some things up. We talked about it, penalties, a little bit better on tackling, and just a little bit better execution from the guys up front, especially the offensive line, where you want to see a little bit more in the running game and see just better execution going forward. But that starts with just cleaning up the plays before they start, which is, those pre-snap penalties. That's got to get cleaned up, which it should. It should get cleaned. So
I'm just, everyone's going to be all eyes on the quarterback position. I want to see more of the running backs as well. I want to see if more starters play. That'd be a big thing too. But really solidifying positions. Let's make this decision easy for week 3, right? So it's not like, last second. I mean, I think it's already. I'm going to agree with Ira Kaufman. It is Baker Mayfield, and we're ready to rock and roll. And guys that are concerned about the offensive line, the rest of the 5 will be in there week 1. So I think it'll be competitive. So just chalk in Baker Mayfield. There he is.
Yeah, so it should be awesome. But guys, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe. We had some new people in here, so if you haven't subscribed to our channel, be sure to do that. We're gonna have this content every Monday, a live stream for you guys, and really enjoy answering all the questions you guys bring and the comments, and just talking about the football team as they move forward throughout the season. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to have some more content coming out later this week. Excited about. So stay tuned. It's going to be interesting, especially with the joint practice on Wednesday. So get a lot of updates from that, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you all for joining us, and I think we're going to wrap it up here. So we'll see you next week, probably around the same time. And looking forward to it. So everyone have a great week, and go Bucs.
Woo!